the biggest detriment to my workday is Immaculate Grids. We're going to draft Immaculate Grid cheat codes.
Octavio Dotel.
Dude,
played for
what?
13 teams. You've never heard of him, which is hilarious.
Welcome to Gamblin Ramblin, a weekly show where we react and rant about the weekend that was in sports betting. I'm Tim Kalinowski. I'm joined by Charlie DiSturco, man who's just loving betting MLB right now. Guy couldn't be happier. And reminder, you can follow us both in the Action app, on the Action YouTube channel, Action Network, HQ on TikTok and Twitter. You ready for football yet, Charlie?
Dude, I counting down the days until football. We're finally in August. That means college football happens at the end of the month. So that's all I'm getting to is just get to that mark. Baseball betting's brutal. I don't know if you watched the Mets last night, but they lost on a disengagement balk violation after trading away their entire team. So I'm just about ready for the baseball to end and the football to begin.
Talk about disengagement balk rules. Back in Babe Ruth, so we're playing like town ball Babe Ruth, and like my team was loaded, and I had three of my buddies were on the other team that was loaded, and we played each other in the championship. It was awesome playing against your friends, nothing like it. And again, it's town Babe Ruth ball. We've weeded out a lot of baseball players by this time, right? There's like 6 teams in Babe Ruth. So basically every team is pretty loaded, but both of us were loaded. And my buddy PJ, we're playing in the finals, and we were down a run in the bottom of the 7th, play 7 innings. We tie the game up, and then we have a runner on third with 2 outs, 1 out, runner on third, and we have power hitter coming up. And so my buddy's dad is the coach of the other team, and he goes, PJ's the catcher. He goes, PJ, we're intentionally walking this guy. Make sure you don't step out of the catcher's box too early. Immediately first pitch. PJ steps out of the catcher's box too early. Ump calls a balk. Runner from third comes home. We win on a walk-off balk, and we all are best friends. And like all my buddies were on my team and the other team, and we have been giving, we call him Domer, our buddy PJ. He's got a big head. We've been giving Domer shit about this for years. Walk-off balk. I've never seen anything like it. And the thing is, it's my buddy's dad's fault, the coach of the other team. It's his own fault for saying he drew attention to it by saying, don't step out too early. And I think that got the ump thinking about it.
Wow. I don't know if I've ever seen a Babe Ruth League game end in a balk in my entire life. That is incredible. I played against my friends too in baseball. It's one of the best feelings or worst feelings you can have. I remember one time I struck out 3 of my friends to win, and the next day they wouldn't talk to me. I also remember getting absolutely spanked by them, giving up back-to-back like extra base hits. So, nothing's better than a little Babe Ruth League ball. But yeah, balk.
Oh my God. It was unbelievable. Like a walk-off balk.
Also, not even like the pitcher didn't even make the mistake. It was the catcher that like hopped out too early and forced the disengagement call. Oh my God. Yeah, that's just like if I was betting on the other team, Tim, against you, if I was betting on PJ's team, that would have happened to me based on how my last couple of weeks of betting has gone.
I was a wagon in town ball. My last 3 years of town ball, 3 in a row we won.
Championships?
Yeah, like the town ball championship league.
Wow.
I went out 3 in a row. Like, who does that?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no. I was an opposite hitting contact hitter lefty, despite my size. I just hit the other way because they'd always shift.
Me too. Me too.
I would have been screwed, but I
was the same way. Lefty, hit the ball the other way, but I was just leader, captain, Jeter type, just winning culture in town ball,
Wow, I mean, listen, I could tell, you're leading this podcast too. It's just you just have that aura about you. It's something like that.
Like you walk around school, people are like doing the respect, like Jeter.
Yeah. To you, Timmy Cal. What's your number?
I wore 2.
TK. Oh, you get that. Get that. This is just you're a loser.
Jeets. I'm a Red Sox fan too, but I was like Jeter.
No, I hate Jeter. Most overrated shortstop. One of the.
we didn't have trades in town ball, but we just had the real MLB trade deadline. Players moving about. The biggest thing is probably your Mets just shedding everyone they own.
Yeah, they got rid of everybody. I was happy with it for the most part. I was not I was okay with them shipping just about everybody. Verlander, I was iffy about just because, he have another year of contract, and I think they're still like a decent enough team. But the player that I was so happy that they found a deal for was trading Max Scherzer to the Rangers. That was he, and I said this before, he might be one of the worst Mets addition-wise that we've ever had in the organization. Like Jason Bay was really bad in free agency. Max Scherzer is up there, and people will not ever think it because he pitched in the biggest games of his career. The Braves last year when we were making a playoff run and losing the NL East crown, he choked in that moment. So did the entire team. But then wild card game 1, San Diego, Darvish, Scherzer, he comes out and he gets absolutely obliterated. And then this season he's been horrible. So I'm excited to see him leave, and we got Acuna's brother out of it, so that's a win.
What do you think of? We talked a little bit a couple days ago or a couple episodes ago about Houston. Verlander back in Houston. I kind of love that move because I just think everyone that Houston touches, especially pitchers, even though Verlander's had kind of a rough year, everything that they touch works.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's a great trade for them. They would have probably re-signed him if it wasn't for the amount of pitching that they had. But then McCullers is still hurt. Luis Garcia got hurt, and Javier has not been effective. They go out and they get a guy that they've been extremely comfortable with in the organization. And Verlander has not been that bad as of late. So I loved that move for Houston. The Mets got a couple of good prospects, but how good can they really be? I'm not sure. I'm not one of those guys that loves a trade for young guys and hope that they pan out in the majors. Because first off, you're waiting 4 to 5 years. Second off, it's a crapshoot. I'd rather big league ready guys. But I'm excited for the Mets to get prospects and also for Verlander to Houston because I think that's a great fit for them to just bring him back, especially a guy that knows their culture.
Have you been playing? Do you play Immaculate Grid? I'll tell you right now, the biggest detriment to my workday is Immaculate Grids. And now that there's 7 different accounts and platforms that do them, I just sit there and do them all day long. I feel
what the word
in me going to work is filling out Immaculate Grids.
You know what it is the worst part about it. Yes, I play it every day, especially baseball because that's my main sport. The worst part about it was that I used to do it at midnight. The clock would hit midnight and I would do it the night before, but now they only release it at 9 a.m. So now they're forcing me to have to look at the grid and then think about it throughout my entire day at the job. I try to forget it and do it later at night. But yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the greatest inventions we've had. It's better than Wordle. This game blows Wordle out of the water.
I was never a Wordle guy because it's not for me. I don't mess with that. But
trouble with words.
I'm a really poor speller. I'm a really, really poor speller. I got out in middle school spelling bee, when they started in the classroom. This
what
is
was the word?
I got out on pirate.
Did you go P-Y? What did you?
P-I-R-U-T. Pirate. And you'd think sports guy, he should know.
Yeah, the Pirates.
I don't see the actual name Pirates a lot. You just see the yellow P. So I was like, how if I know? Pirate.
Yeah, you know P-I-T. That's what you know, or the symbol of the skull and bones. You don't know how to spell pirates. You just know their tri-code.
If we played tri-codes, I would have been immaculate then. But yeah, really poor speller. So I didn't really mess with Wordle. But my buddy says all my buddies are working, sales jobs or whatever. He's like, I just sit there in a meeting and I'm like, who is a Hall of Fame Atlanta Thrasher that also played for the Red Wings? He's like, I just don't get anything done. And I fully agree.
Yeah. You know what it is I find football a little bit more difficult because, you just think of skill position players and unless you're a football fan.
Me.
Yeah. So that's why I like baseball so much because there's so many players. And also that's my favorite sport. So I've watched it for my entire life. So I get to pull out these random guys that I played with an MLB The Show 05. That's always my go-to. Is I think of if I can't get like a current guy that plays baseball, I'm like, all right, go back to MLB The Show 05. Like who played for who? All right, Carlos Zambrano, he played for the Cubs. All right, he also was like at the end of his career with his mom, and that's how I kind of go about things.
I similar. My problem with baseball though is I think the Twins, the then Indians, the Mariners, and like the Brewers are all for the same team. Like I have a hard time with, like when I close my eyes, I'm like, and I see blue, I'm like, oh, I don't know which one it actually was though.
Dude, there are a few. I'd say Texas gives me some issues too, and Seattle for sure. The problem is that all the guys and this is the thing with Immaculate Grid, is that like all the guys that are notable, most of the time played for one team throughout their entire career, or like two teams. Like, you think of Tim Lincecum, he's a giant his entire career and then ends with the Angels. You think of like Jeter, he played with the Yankees his whole career. Like there aren't that many guys that bounced around multiple organizations. So it becomes like a huge difficulty like down the stretch with like those random teams.
You really got to know your pitchers. That's basically
relievers,
really,
bro. That's relievers. Because the relievers bounce around. That's how I found, and I've gotten like really good rarity scores. Like my best lines are always when I go with like relievers that like, even like a guy like Jake Diekman played for like 5 teams and still baseball. Like you know him, yeah. He pitched for like 5 teams. That's one of the guys that I use. The Athletics, like I feel like, are a rotating door of relievers. So if you just like can get a couple of them, that's how you win.
So speaking of Immaculate Grid, we're gonna do, I think, past the time here. It's August. We got to get to football. We're gonna draft Immaculate Grid cheat codes, people to use. So if you see this video, this is like the encyclopedia. But I want to throw one parameter on it. Is that the player has to be like somewhat good. I don't want just journeyman that like no one's ever heard of. Someone that does come to mind that's a good usage. Like for hockey, I'm like Jaromir Jagr's like the king, right? Because he was also actually good. So, and we're gonna do an infielder, an outfielder, starter, a reliever, and an extra.
Okay.
And we're not playing rock, paper, scissors again because that was horrendous content. We're gonna flip a coin. Heads, tails, you call in the air.
All right, ready? Go. Tails.
It is tails.
That's, by the way, this is even worse content than flipping a coin. But I'll go first.
Coin.
Yeah, I'm going to go first. I'm going to go with the best. This is the best suitcase guy in all of baseball. If you need a cheat code, when in doubt, Edwin Jackson. He's played for 14 big league teams. He threw a no-hitter. He's a wildly relevant pitcher that somehow just, especially toward the tail end of his career, bounced around from every team. Do you want me just to list them?
Do a couple.
Okay. I'm just going to list them. Hutton, pull up the graphic. We're going. Dodgers, Rays, Tigers, D-backs, White Sox, Cardinals, Nationals, Cubs, Braves, Marlins, Padres, Orioles, Athletics, and Blue Jays. That's almost half the entire baseball has employed this man at one point or another. He is the greatest of all time in Immaculate Grid.
I love that. That is so good. Okay, so I will follow up here. And again, I wanted somewhat good players. So I'm going to take my starter here. Bartolo Colon, baby. Big sexy.
He was on my list as well.
He played for 11 teams. I don't know if we want to do it. I'm not doing it because we'll be here all day if we list all these people. But when in doubt, big sexy. It's also just a very fun pick.
I don't want to go to the Mets games anymore because they stink, but they are retiring Bartolo at 1 o'clock on a football Sunday too, which is absurd, in September. But I'm debating on going just to get my. They said they're giving out a big sexy long sleeve T-shirt, and I have to support my guy because. Former Met who ended James Shields' career by hitting a home run. I mean, how more iconic can you get than that?
You can't.
All right, relief pitcher. I'm gonna stick away from relief pitcher. Actually, I'm gonna go with an outfielder here. I'm gonna go Kenny Lofton.
I love that.
Kenny Lofton, 11 different big league teams. He played just about everywhere, bounced around, and I feel like he's one of the staples of like our childhood growing up. if you wanted a guy to steal bases and you wanted a guy that bounced around, that man was Kenny Lofton.
Yes. Very well done. Very well done. I'm going to go here. My outfielder, obviously a good player, Ricky Henderson. 9 teams. 9.
He was so I had a grouping of outfielders, and he was one of the top 3 with Gary Sheffield, but Sheffield only played for 8 teams. But Ricky's like one of the best of all time.
Oh, so good. I mean, how could you not? I always forget too. I forget the diversity of teams he played for.
Yeah. You never think some of these, like we said earlier, like the best in baseball rarely overlap multiple teams. And if they do, it's like 2 or 3, like their tail end of their career, or like after a great start, they sign a huge contract, and then they maybe at the end of the career they bounce around a little bit. Ricky did it for nine different teams. Pretty impressive. Okay. I wanted you to go relief pitcher because I have 2 relievers that I love. But I'm gonna go infielder here, and he's another staple of like MVP baseball 2005. He actually played outfield as well, but mostly an infielder. Russell Branyan.
Yeah.
Played for 10 teams, first base and third baseman and outfielder also. He did it just about everywhere, mostly Cleveland to start, but then, like we said, journeyman at the end of his career. Didn't finish until 2011, so not too far behind. But he's my first baseman. There's not that many infielders, I noticed that are like that were like productive players that bounce around, aside from like backup catchers.
Backup catcher. Infielders tough because it's like also too, a lot of those infielders, if you bounced around long enough, you also played outfield too, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. I was trying to last second search an infielder that I wanted to do, but I don't think he didn't play for enough teams. I wanted to do Jose Iglesias, but he didn't play for enough teams.
What's funny is that he's come up on my Immaculate Grid like 4 times because he has played a lot, but Tigers, Rockies, Reds. Is there anyone else?
Tigers, Rockies, Reds, Red Sox. Yeah, he was a Red Sox. I loved me some Jose Iglesias. Me. I think he might have had 2 stints. I'm not sure, but yeah.
So are you going with him or are you going with relief?
No, I'm not, because he didn't play for enough teams. I'm going to go my reliever here, and I'm going to go Fernando Rodney.
That was okay. That was my like little. That was between my top 2 was Fernando and the Arrow. He was.
Let's see, how many teams did he play for? He played for 11 teams. Fernando Rodney.
He's a legend. He's also like really good. Just like a big closer. That was like, I just love the arrow. This is like always my thing when he shoots the arrow up.
My team is stacked so far. if we want to go by that.
All right. So I was between Rodney and this guy has played for more teams. So if you count him as if you're on like a GOAT of Immaculate Grid, he's higher, but he wasn't as dominant as Rodney was at his peak. Octavio Dotel.
Dude,
played for
what?
13 teams. You've never heard of him, which is hilarious. But
nope.
He is okay. So if picture this: you're playing MVP baseball 2005, and you're in like the 18th round, and you need a relief pitcher or a closer. But this guy is just hanging around. Who is that guy? It's Octavio Dotel. He has about 100 saves, but he's a reliever. 15 years in the bigs for 13 different teams total. Had a sub-4 ERA, so he was effective. Like, it wasn't even like he was one of those guys that got shelled a lot. Octavio Dotel, I've used him in Immaculate Grid like 4 times.
Oh,
he's
so
a former
good.
Met also.
That is so good. I love that.
You're gonna have to add that to your bag, your arsenal.
Yeah, I do have to add that. Easy name to remember too, Octavian. I wanted to. I also too honorable mention for a reliever as well here. Alan Embry. He was around forever.
And LaTroy Hawkins.
Oh my god.
That was my other guy that I was between.
You tell me if this counts as infield because they played infield and outfield. You mentioned him, Gary Sheffield.
I think of him as an outfielder.
Okay.
Because he played at the tail end of his career, right? Moving in.
Yeah, he played. It says here that he played some some third base, and shortstop.
Let's look up. Hold up. Let me look it up. He started out as an infielder, then went to the outfielder. I'll give you it.
Yeah.
He came up in Milwaukee in 88 as a.
He started in 88?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He played 22 years in the bigs. That's why he played for so many teams. 22 years in the bigs.
Yeah, I get Sheffield. He's my infielder. No way. That's insane.
If I knew Sheffield was an infielder, I would have taken Randy. But that shows you how much research I did early on and how much what positions they played rather than what teams that they played for. Because my list here is like all outfielders and pitchers.
Yeah.
All right. My last pick. I'm going to have to go with the man who was traded on deadline day yesterday. And that is the iconic Dick Mountain. Rich Hill, when he pitches for the San Diego Padres, that will be team number 13 for him. He's awesome. I have bet against him every single time this season, and he doesn't fail to make my life miserable, but he's done it for now 13 teams now that he joined San Diego.
Dude, oh my God.
It's good, right?
That is really good. I was looking up players here, and someone that says that they played for 11 franchises is Spoon Carter, and he played for 10 franchises, but they're all the Negro leagues. It's not.
So yeah, you don't even know. I've never heard of him in my life. There's a guy named Pop that also played. I was like doing my research.
Pop Smith. Yeah.
You still got to do your extra.
Yeah, I wanted Spoon to be my extra.
Oh, you okay? Well,
you're not getting it, but you're not gonna have him in any Immaculate Grids.
Spoon.
Oh my. Okay, let while I'm here, I'm gonna find my extra here.
This is live programming.
Extra. Okay. This is Francesa here. 9 teams, 10 teams.
By the way, while you're doing this, while you're researching, I'll just talk. Today's Immaculate Grid. Oh, you got one. Bruce Chen can be used for the Royals. And then down the line, Baltimore and Texas played for 11 different teams. Legend. Bruce Chen.
Oh God. Okay. Here's another good one that I wanted to do. Buttercup Dixon. He played in the 1880s. These are half MLB teams and half they're half MLB teams and half American Association team statistics. Like what is this?
American Association. I don't know.
Yeah, so that doesn't count unless you have American Association teams on your Immaculate Grid. Okay, come on.
All right, Tim. The clock's burning here. You should lose your draft pick for this.
No.
You're getting distracted by like Scoop and other names.
I know they're so okay. You know what? I'll just do this one. This should be a good Immaculate Grid one. 8 teams. Jose Batista.
Okay. He bounced around a lot. People forget that he was traded for absolutely nothing to Toronto too from Pittsburgh.
And he was trying to make a comeback as a pitcher. And I don't know if he actually ended up pitching anywhere. But that was like his thing. He was trying to make a comeback as a pitcher.
Yeah. He played for the Mets for a bit. You know another good one, Nelson Cruz, also pretty good.
Yeah, I was debating him too.
He's what? 8 teams as well, I think.
Yeah, Batista.
8 teams got cut by the Padres, so he's no longer on a roster right now.
Well done.
That's fun. I mean, Immaculate Grid's the best. There's so many more. Cameron Maybin played for 10 teams. That's another good one, and he played recently.
I am literally exhausted from looking those up.
Baseball, baby. Baseball.
Wow.
Who isn't ready for it?
Okay. So well done. Hutton, who do you think had the better team?
Ooh, that's tough. I don't know. You both made a pretty compelling case. I like the start with Bartolo Colon was a good one. Trying to remember who everyone had.
Oh, I'd be writing them down.
I gotta go with Charlie and Dick Mountain for Chill. I think Charlie had some good ones. Good. Fernando Rodney was a good one by you, but then he countered with Octavio Dotel, who I have never heard of. So,
Dude, Octavio is. I don't know how you guys both have never heard of it. He's like a staple in my fantasy drafts on MLB The Show. Like whenever I played with him, I just drafted
in 05, I think I know who you're talking about now that you.
He was. Yeah. He was. Let me pull up his stats. He was like in 05. He was an Athletic. He played for the Mets, the Astros, the Athletics, the Yankees, the Royals, the Braves, the White Sox, Pittsburgh, Dodgers, Rockies, Blue Jays, St. Louis, and then ended in 2013 with Detroit. So the man played for a very long time, 15 years almost.
Put some respect on Octavian's name.
Octavio. You don't even know his name. There's no N.
That's how much respect.
I think Tim has more star power, but I have more like usefulness in Immaculate Grid. So that's how it depends on how you want to go about things. Because my guys are really good and played for a long list of teams.
Rich Hill, dude. Oh my god.
Legend.
I've literally seen enough Rich Hill for a lifetime.
I need him to retire. I can't keep betting against him every time.
There are far too many MLB games that I turn on and Rich Hill's pitching for some team, and I've just had enough.
Yeah. Well, now you're gonna be watching the Padres in the playoffs, and Rich Hill will be chopping away.
So as we conclude here, you don't really have a degenerate moment of the week? You're trying to cool things off here in the MLB circuit?
I gotta wait for football season because like baseball is like killing me. So I'm not being degenerate recently. I've been just picking my games and then just like forgetting about it. So yeah, I know you backstabbed me because I messaged you saying I need to learn how to win in NASCAR, and you go, yeah, I'll teach you. And then you hit a 75-1 winner, and I don't even get told anything.
Hey, I logged it in the app. I look at all your games that you log. I look at all the bets that you log.
You said you text me.
I know. Yeah, well, I know, but who thinks a 75-1 is like, hey, let me text you like this is
or you bet him to win your top Ford or Chevy, whatever he drives. Like you could have bet me and texted me that. Hutton, can you believe this guy? You text us about lacrosse stuff.
I do.
Charlie.
I had a degenerate moment of the past couple of weeks.
Give it. You can take my spot.
I'll take your spot. I've been betting women's pro lacrosse, Athletes Unlimited. And what makes it even more degenerate is they switch teams every week, so there's nothing you can even go off of.
How have we never heard of this? That's electric.
Yeah, Athletes Unlimited. They do like volleyball, basketball, softball, and they do a lacrosse league. And I've hit every total that I bet because they've been setting them too high, and I've lost every side that I bet because these teams switch. And they play 3 games and they switch teams again.
Dude, what?
That's awesome.
How do you handicap a league that switches teams?
You don't. You just look at the roster and like, these girls are good. They probably will play well together, and then you lose your bet.
Yeah, you have to literally pick chemistry and stuff. That I would love for baseball and like and football, like gridiron sandlot games. Like, all right, like this guy's playing for like Saquon Barkley's now a Lion this week. Like, so yeah, that's just.
I actually hate it from like a consumption standpoint. Like, I want to see like these teams like play together and the storylines, but it does make it kind of interesting. But yeah, from handicapping standpoint, it's just like it's impossible. It's just pizza money for fun.
Is there championships?
No, it's a point system. So the way it works is they each get points for individual stats and whether their team wins. They get the most points from whether their team wins like a quarter or the full game. But at the end of the season, it's very anticlimactic because you kind of know who's going to win. But whoever has the most points based on the point system wins the league or whatever.
Hutton, God bless you.
Yeah.
Listen, I have to support it so that they offer more odds on lacrosse. So any lacrosse that's out there.
Yeah, but then you're winning, and then they don't want to offer more.
Only the totals, not the sides. I haven't won a side bet yet.
That is insane. You're out of control.
I've been betting -1.5 at like plus money odds.
Someone take Hutton's keys.
By 1.
Someone take Hutton's keys. He can't drive right now. He's drunk.
How do you do that? My goodness. Wow.
All right. Well, Tim, you have to talk to us about your 75-1 that you didn't tell me about.
It's like, oh, you think NASCAR's niche? Like, hold my beer. I bet on a league that they switch teams every week.
Insane.
Yeah. So one of the traditions that I've kept for a long time, or one of the traditions I've kept for the last couple of years, is on Sunday, I like to go to the beach in the summer, bring my speaker, pack a cooler of beers, and listen to the NASCAR race on the radio while I just hang out there. And I used to have a bigger group of people, but they've since, moved to the city. They've moved to, I'm like the last one standing. I'm the last one standing, and I hope it has nothing to do with other people don't want to listen to me blasting NASCAR radio on the only speaker we have. But I go down to the beach, pack a cooler beer, and I listen to my NASCAR bets unfold on the radio. And on this beach, I have hit some incredible bets. Like, some of my greatest memories are hitting bets on this beach. So I haven't been going much this summer, but I knew something good was going to happen when I pulled up to the beach.
And you still didn't text me.
I had a couple.
You knew something good was going to happen, and you were like, that Charlie guy? Fuck him.
I had a big portfolio, though, and it's hard to tail like a big portfolio. I didn't know which one to really give you. So I had Chris Buescher 75-1. I grabbed him like earlier in the week, but he, even by the drop of the green flag, he was like 66-1. So I had him 75-1, and he goes on. So I'm sitting there alone on the beach, and I'm just, I have the thing blasted. Actually, I put it in my headphones because I wanted to spare the rest of the beach, but put it in my headphones, and he was leading with 60 to go. And I'm sitting there, and I knew a friend actually who was down the end of the beach, and I wanted to text or call them to have them video my reaction if Buescher won. But the line I was towing was, I know once I text them, Buescher's going to blow a tire. But I can't text them with one lap to go. They're not going to get down here in time. So I'm such a moron. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, do I call my buddy? Do I call my buddy? Do I call my buddy? So I call my buddy with about 10 laps to go. He doesn't answer. Caution comes out. I go, serves me right. Serves me right. So caution comes out. They're going to restart with 3 laps to go. And now now I don't even want him to come down the beach. Thank God he didn't answer. So Buescher restarts, leads the last 3 laps. I decide to video myself for the last 2 laps. He wins. I'm alone on the beach, pouring beer on my head, celebrating, screaming. People are just staring at me like, what is wrong with this kid? And they can't even hear it because I have it in my headphones. I'm just, just pouring beer on my head. Yeah. My mom's actually down the end of the beach, and she can see me, and she's like, oh God, who did I raise? What is wrong with you? So then I met up with her to drive home, and I'm just covered in beer, my hat, I reek. And she's like, you're not my son. I'm like, yeah, well, how's 75-1 for you, Mom? How about that? She goes, I don't even know what that means. So,
I love that. Other than the fact, good for you, other than the fact that you ruined, didn't give me the winner.
On that beach, special things happen. Special
So it looks like I gotta come stay at the Kalinowski household for a weekend, and we gotta bet on some NASCAR and hang out on the beach.
Yeah, they go, I always have a tough time with people visiting. It's what do you do on Sunday? Let's have a great time. You live in a coastal town. I'm like, well, we're listening to the NASCAR race. If you're down with that.
I'll visit never.
Yeah. People I might dip out Sunday morning if that's cool. I'm like, yeah, all the power to you. More for me.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that was my degenerate moment of the week. Great.
Well, congratulations.
That'll make a summer. 75-1. That'll make a summer. That is, it's real good. Felt real nice. So, we're almost there, Charlie. We are almost there. We're almost there. Have a great weekend. Enjoy. I say weekend and we're on Wednesday here, but whatever. I don't even know what day of the week it is with baseball. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
Make sure you.
We're getting there.
What were you gonna say?
We're getting there.
Follow Charlie in the Action app at Charlie DiSturco. Follow me at T Kalinowski 12 at TimmyCal12 on Twitter. If you want more NASCAR locks, really. Nick Giffen. He's the one who taught me how to fish. He's the one who taught me my ways. I'm surprised Nick didn't even have it, but he did have the top forward with Buescher. So we hit that. But anyway, that'll conclude it. Well done, Hutton. Go handicap the league that switches teams. Good luck to you. I'll be back with my NASCAR, and we'll talk to you next week.